Spectrum is a social experiment that explores the diversity of perspective that exists within a shared identity. The opinions expressed by the cast are not the opinions of Google, YouTube, or Jubilee. Thanks for watching.
I've seen Korean comedians come on and try to be funny while putting black shoe polish on it. That's not acceptable.
Living here, I have never felt the need to be afraid of the police.
One thing that I really love about Korea and that would keep me here is the safety.
아, 이게 사귀는 거예요? 친구 아니에요?
사귀는 거.
It's not friend?
Yeah.
Come on in, bro.
My name is Tanea.
Maniac.
Shakira. Tina.
Sam.
저는 한현민이라고 하고요. 저는 한국에 사는 흑인입니다.
I learned so much from you guys today.
New communities.
New adventures with our new friends. Gambae!
South Korea is best known for its food, technology, and entertainment, including the global phenomenon K-pop. But when it comes to fashion and music, South Korea has had a lot of influence from African American. This influence dates back to the 1950s, when the U.S. sent forces into South Korea during the Korean War, including many black people who decided to settle there. Today, South Korea's black community is made up of Africans and African Americans who eventually decided to stay after completing their military service, as well as scholars and entrepreneurs. Within the last 30 years, the affinity for black culture has grown across South Korea's 99% ethnic Korean population. And the influence continues to grow as black people from all over the world have made South Korea their home. For this reason, we brought together a spectrum of black people living in Korea to share their unique stories about culture, community, and the black experience in Korea. I've changed my style and appearance living in Korea. 3, 2, 1.
I feel like my style has maybe like leveled up since I came to Korea, because before I was very much of like a tom girl, whatever. But I know that, like, you know, go to Walmart with some sweatpants on, something, you know, no makeup on. Like, just so comfortable. But here in Korea, everyone's always pretty. They have their makeup on. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to my. Let me put some eyelashes on. Let me put some cute pants on. Let me put on a cute outfit.
I used to show cleavage for days back in LA, but in Korea, not really unless it's a Friday, Saturday night, and even cover up on the train a little bit so that they're not staring at you. So yeah, that's why I came over here. I had to cover up a little bit more than I would in LA.
늘 저는 제 스타일대로 고수해왔던 것 같아요. 그리고 겨울에 옛날에 한창 롱패딩 유행했던 거 알아요? 다 롱패딩 입잖아요. 저는 사실 그거에 대해서는 메리트를 못 느꼈거든요.
학교 다녔을 때 그 패딩 긴 거 그거 안 입었을 때 사람들이 좀 왕따 느낌 아니면 너는 못 샀다 막 이런 거 없었어요?
그런 필요는 없었던 게 그것보다 더 멋있는 걸 입으면 되니까.
나는 돼. 왜냐하면 잘생겼고. 모델이잖아.
그러니까 이제 자기 스타일이 있으면 존중을 해줘요. 근데 저는 이제 똑같이 입으면 남들이랑 뭐가 달라요?
그렇죠.
저는 그렇게 되고 싶진 않았던 거죠.
I have a certain body type here that clothes are not always accommodated for. So I find myself having to make my clothes fit for the culture. It's like I'm still wearing the clothes I would back home, but I'm having to make it fit into what is socially acceptable. I've been living in Korea permanently since 2019. I like living here in Korea, but I feel that beauty standards in Korea cater towards white skin, fair hair, and anything that revolves around being skinny. Sometimes I'll go into the stalls where they sell the clothes on the side of the streets, and the ladies will look at me, and they're like, girl, you got too much junk back there. None of these clothes are gonna fit you. And I appreciate the honesty, but sometimes I just wanna look. It's unfortunate because I feel that there are also Korean people who have similar body types as me or who have dark skin just like me. And I can only imagine how they feel being that they're Korean and they're probably not as accepted either.
I dated people to get better at speaking Korean or English. 3, 2, 1.
Listen, sis. Listen, we're on the same line.
So I feel like one of the best ways to learn a language is to actually immerse yourself in the culture. And if one of those ways is actually being what somebody is, although it's not the main reason, it's one of the ways that can help. And I feel like it's a beneficial part on both ends of the relationship because it's not always Korean, it's also English.
I mean, for me personally, when I first came to Korea, and I always ask people, what was the best way to learn the language? They always say, get yourself a Korean girlfriend. It's the quickest way because you spend a lot of time with her. But I realized, okay, I can also spend time with just friends. If you find a bunch of foreigners who are really eager to study Korean, that can really help you a lot, at least from my experience.
Foreigners that don't speak English, and then you can only communicate in Korean.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Tanea. I have a tech company out here. I've been living in Korea for 5 years. I feel like only in Korea could I've ever become a tech CEO in my 20s. I've had a very strong the past 2 years. My sweetheart and I, we actually have a pretty good dynamic. I think what helped a lot with our relationship is that he didn't really grow up watching TV. So he really didn't have any preconceptions of what someone who looks like me should be or what Americans should be. He's not concerned with what other people think. He just likes me for me. Of course, I like him for him.
I'm curious, Hyunmin, what do you think? 이제 영어를 배우기 위해서 누구랑 사귄 적이 있죠?
아, 이게 사귀는 거예요? 친구
사귀는
아니에요?
사귀는 거.
It's not friend?
Come on in, bro.
I consider myself black. 3, 2, 1.
Hell yeah.
How you doing? Yeah.
I can't stand there because the acceptance from the black community. When I'm in the States, they call me Chinese Mike. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell them I'm half Asian.
But you clearly sound like a black man, though. Like,
I mean, I could sound like it, but it doesn't mean that I'm accepted as one, which makes me think, am I? You know what I'm saying? I know my bloodline, but since I'm half Korean, it makes me like, that's what, I'd be standing over there if it wasn't for the objections of the black community.
Being biracial, you guys kind of are stuck in between this weird, like, am I Korean? Am I black? Where do I fit in? Where's my community? But you are also biracial too, so.
oh yeah, well, because I'm black and Mexican, but like all of us came out black, so it's like, I mean, like, so it is what it is, and it was interesting because the Mexicans in our family didn't want blacks in their family, so I didn't really get to partake in much of that culture. So yeah, that's why I am a black woman.
네, 저도 비슷한 이유예요. 왜냐면 어쨌든 반은 아시안이니까. 그리고 이제 오히려 저는 미국에 갔을 때 많이 들었던 소리가 다들 와서 물어봐요. 너 완전 오리지널 아니지? 너 어디가 좀 섞인 것 같아? 라는 질문을 되게 많이 들었었어가지고 반반이라고 생각해요. 50-50.
I'm 70-30.
저희 어머니는 한국 사람, 이제 동양인이고요. 저희 아버지는 나이지리아 사람, 아프리카에서 온 나이지리아 사람입니다. 그냥 어렸을 때는 이제 유치원을 다닐 때는 유치원을 다니기 전에는 좀 뭐랄까 이제 부모님이랑만 지내다 보니까 조금 되게 신기하게 보는 친구들이 되게 많았고 그러므로 인해서 되게 놀림을 당하는 경우도 되게 많았던 것 같아요. 놀리는 거에 있어서 좋아하는 사람이 어디 있겠어요. 당연히 다 싫어하지만 네, 그래도 어쨌든 저는 여기서 쭉 살아야 되니까 그거를 좀 견뎌내고 살아왔던 것 같아요. 하지만 예전에 제가 어렸을 때는 인식이 많이 좋아지고 있는 시기라고 생각합니다.
I get offended by the appropriation of black culture in Korea. 3, 2, 1.
무슨 말이야?
Offended is such a strong word.
Yeah, I know, strong, right?
Offended is such
Offended,
a
yeesh.
strong word.
Sometimes I feel like in some instances, it comes from a place where they are trying to learn, but we also have to understand appropriation can lead to negative stereotypes because sometimes it feels like a cosplay of like Black people. There are also people out there who are literally putting on Black people as a costume. At the end of the day, I'm always going to be like this. I can't. So it's like,
That makes sense, yeah.
Say you like rock and roll. I mean, like, say you like rock and roll
Right.
something, but there's an image to that genre.
Right, I get it.
They want to be a part of that genre.
Right.
So how can you? I don't find that offensive.
Right.
If I see that, I'm like, it makes me feel good. I'd rather them want to be us than.
Yeah,
You know
I get what
I'm
you're saying. At the end of the day, when you live within a certain culture, you want to emulate the good parts, the good aspects of that culture, right? If you like Michael Jordan and you wore a jersey that said 23, I know this guy likes Michael. Like, you don't have to go above and beyond and like paint your face and then you try to do like that. I'm like, nah, that ain't it. So it almost goes from you appreciating it to almost like mocking
Yeah,
it.
there's a difference between mocking the Black culture and trying to make themselves look like it. Like when I was younger, I seen comedians, like Korean comedians, come on and try to be funny while putting black shoe polish on their. That's not acceptable. But I don't think nobody would put dreads in their hair if they hated the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As far as the paint, that's how I feel. Like if it's the paint thing, no.
I was going to do this movie shoot, and one of the directors was like, hey, do you know where I can get some fake hair to do some cornrows? And I was like, for me? I don't want cornrows in my hair. Are we just talking about braids or what? She was like, no, for an actual actor. And I was like, is he Black? And she's like, no, he's Korean. So for me, I don't necessarily get offended. I just want to be the educator. Well, I'm really thankful to be here in Korea because like I come from such a small town in Tennessee. So I never thought that I would actually be living my K-pop choreographer dream. Korean people normally think that I'm very cool when they see me, but they also think that I am very intimidating. When people tell me that, I always question like, why? I'm like such a nice person, I'm very bubbly, but I can understand because like I'm different, you know, like they've never really seen someone of a different race before. And then also there's like the stereotypes of like Black people, and then maybe they're also intimidated by my presence.
Korea has a strong cancel culture. 3, 2, 1.
Watch your mouth. You kidding? Watch your mouth.
I've been unemployed for 2 years, bro.
I know. Sam can tell it best.
Okay,
ahead, Sam,
then please explain to us your situation.
Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that speaking on something that I felt like I was entitled to speak on would get me canceled so hard. Like literally, when I made the post about blackface, it became a topic overnight. I couldn't do any work. Like they canceled me hard, dropped me like a hot potato.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
But
man.
here's what gets me, is that you had been talking about racism before in Korea.
Exactly, yes.
So what do you think made this last time different?
When your platform gets bigger, right, you have more responsibility. And so what you say really affects a lot of people, right? And I'm sure at a certain point they're like, oh, this is Sam, the Black guy in Korea who's doing entertainment, right? I'm always talking good about Korea. People like that. But the one time that I said something that was perceived as negative, they're like, nah, you can't do that.
They X you out.
Exactly. It felt like it was an attack on them, and they X'd me out hard. To the point where my own Korean friends that supported me, they were getting attacked.
사실 뭐랄까 그냥 이 한국에서 공인으로 산다는 거는 되게 조심해야 할 게 많은 것 같아요. 그러다 보니까 저는 SNS도 되게 조심스럽게 쓰고 그러다 보니까 조금 잘 안 하려고 해요. 소셜미디어도 그렇고.
올라가는 거 천천히 올라가는데
내려올 때
떨어지면 아주 뚝
Yes,
떨어져요.
That is facts.
즐거운 추석 되세요. 안녕히 계세요. 감사합니다. 네. I work in Korea as an actor and a TV personality. 추석 때문에 놀러 오신 거예요? I love this place so much. Everywhere I went, I used my platform to promote Korea. I have experienced a lot of good things compared to bad things.
So Sam, what is this called?
This is called shrimp extraordinaire.
Oh, okay.
Extraordinaire.
So I grew up in Ghana, Accra to be precise. I have 5 younger siblings, and I used to cook. I was the designated cook of my family. My younger siblings are getting older now, and it's really difficult to connect, and it can get pretty lonely sometimes. Even when I look back and I reflect 2 years ago, right, I really wonder, like, what would have happened if I didn't have friends who stood, like, beside me. You guys were, like, ready to go to war. In August of 2020, I experienced cancel culture. People kept sending me a post about a group of students that did cosplay, but they painted their faces black. I went on the gram talking about how disappointed I was, but somehow things blew up, and the hate that poured in was so overwhelming, I did not know what to expect. The truth is, it can be too much for one person, right? You guys, and even some of my Korean friends who were like, nah, we're gonna stick beside you. That really meant a lot to me. And for me, that was the moment where I realized these guys are not just my friends, these guys are like family.
I've had experiences with the police in Korea. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should stand here.
So the popo came for y'all, or?
I'm super curious to know what happened. Like, what happened?
I used to party a lot.
Right.
And since I speak Korean, I hear everything that they're saying, and when they, especially when they speak about black people,
Right.
Because that was the crowd I used to, you know what I'm saying, the military soldiers I used to kick it with. But yeah, they actually said the N-word, and
Do they realize that you're also black, or they don't know?
they didn't. Well, they knew. Yeah, we was all dark. We was all sitting there like everybody was black. You know what I'm saying? So, but they said it in Korean at first, and then they said it in English. So I mean, then we got into a physical altercation. That's when it popped off. Yeah, I hurt a couple people.
I see. It's crazy because, like, living here, I have never felt the need to be afraid of the police. Like, it's so safe. Every time I see the police just strolling around in the neighborhood, just say hi to you, and I'm like, yo, you can never, like, feel like this anywhere else. Like, when I went to America the first time and I was driving, a police stopped me, and I was scared.
Of course.
I was like, oh my gosh. I had to pretend not to speak English. So I spoke Korean.
How did you do that?
I spoke Korean and I showed them my Korean driver's license. And they looked like, oh, dang. And they just let me go. But I was scared. I was really scared. But I never felt that here. And I gotta say, man, like, I really feel safe. Yeah, without a doubt. Definitely living here.
I found a strong black community in Korea. 3, 2, 1.
You know what? I'm gonna go with.
Agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to this one.
Yeah, me too. When I first came to Korea, there was this group on Facebook called BSSK.
I know
Right,
what
like
you mean.
brothers and sisters of South Korea.
That was so dramatic.
Right.
I know
it's like
what
as a
you
black
mean.
person, you come to Korea, that's like the first group you need to join, right?
Yes.
However, as an African, I realized that there's several African communities here,
Yes.
and they stick together.
It's separate.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of like the black Americans kind of stick to themselves, and then like the.
right.
I can't relate. And also, I think I have a little residual, I guess, trauma from being back in the States, where I was called things like Oreo, and the other black girls, like, hated me. And then when you come to Korea, and then I'm not even in the same, like, job sphere. And so, yeah, the community altogether was a little lost for me.
I didn't even know there was a black community in Korea, and for the longest time I felt alone. I expect there to be some type of connection, but when I actually speak to any black person, I feel more of a rival feeling than I do of a community feel. I'm like, I thought we were supposed to like help each other out, but like I never found the community. This is the strongest community I ever found.
Hey.
And y'all probably change when the cameras go off.
No!
I I go by the name of Maniac. I was actually born in Germany, Nuremberg. My father was in the military. And then we got out to Korea in 1983.
You know, this is the first time we spent Chuseok together after Mom passed away.
It sure is. And you know, I tell you what, I really miss that.
My father, he's fully African American. My mother was Korean. She had to raise bicultural children, and I know it wasn't easy on her. And now I have a daughter. Lydia definitely doesn't think that she's black, but on the other side, she doesn't think she's Korean either, so.
Why do you come home crying sometimes? You said like they don't treat you right.
Every time if I go to dance class, they're not like treating others like equally.
Yeah, they don't treat you equal. I felt that when I was younger too.
I remember the times you came home crying too when you were younger.
Don't put that, no. No, for real?
Yes, because of
what was it over? I mean, I know I got my feelings hurt a lot. I just don't remember everything. It was so many times, but
you never really told me exactly why. But then I know I'm sure that's what it was.
Me looking different, they'll let you know in the playgrounds that you're not the same color.
I wish I didn't speak Korean sometimes, because a lot of my problems were with when I could hear what they were saying, I couldn't do nothing about it. I try to help Lydia navigate through all these problems by explaining to her that she's not the only one that's been through it.
Okay, all right.
And the feelings that she's feeling is natural. And like one day she'll get used to it and she'll understand that it's just a culture difference, it's not her. All right, Lydia.
Wow.
I'm the only one not catching anything, hold on.
I will live in Korea for the rest of my life. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yay, I have friends. Okay. I really thought I was gonna be the only one.
Oh, fascinating.
내가 태어난 나라기 때문에. 그리고 아니 여기 있으면 편해요.
그렇지.
마음도 정신적으로.
맞아.
여기 저도 이제 많은 나라를 저 다녀봤는데 여기만큼 편리한 나라가 있나?
없어.
네. 그리고 또 이 밤 문화도 잘 돼 있고. 네, 애초에
24시간.
밤에도 뭐가 다 돼 있고 그냥
그렇죠.
밤도 나처럼 행동할 수 있잖아요. 네, 그냥 진짜 이보다 편리한 나라가 있을까요? 잘 없을 것 같아요.
I feel like I'm making waves for myself to stay here longer, but I'm not always sure if that's going to be feasible or not because things are always changing.
As for me, I always joke, I will be here until they kick me out of the country because, I mean, I know I'm always going to be the foreigner, so they could, anytime they wanted to. But me, myself, and I, and my partner, and then, have a pretty nice life here in Korea.
One thing that I really love about Korea and that would keep me here is the safety, right? Because, you can leave your cell phone on the table, you can leave your computer there.
Not around me.
No one's going to take it.
I could stay here as long as I want, but it might be because I'm a very emotional person, and I was emotionally damaged when I was a child by the culture. But I love Korea. I mean, I'd have to go with you because of my children's safety, no guns, because I had a lot of friends that got did in the States with guns, and that's something I just don't want to have to worry about on the side, you know what I'm saying? And I feel safe sending them to like the corner store without anything popping off in between, so I'd have to go with safety.
I don't know. I thought the funniest part was when Hyunmin misunderstood the dating question, and he was like, oh, wait, we're not talking about friends? Oh, never mind, let me run back over here.
Knowing your experiences makes me look at Korea in a different kind of way. More positive, and knowing that you two also experience what we experienced. So I'm really thankful to be here in Korea, but living here for as long as I have, I start to miss my family. You start feeling homesick after a while. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck in this weird nexus.
You guys helped me shed a light on a different perspective. I learned so much from you guys today. As a Black woman, I feel like as time progresses, there are people who are willing to take chances with me, and I appreciate them.
Were you careful with some of the answers because of the negative feedback you got from being yourself in Korea?
I stopped thinking about it and just went with my gut and my truth and what I wanted to say.
Yeah, but
I went with the truth, and I hope it doesn't X me out of the game. But hey, being an outsider to both worlds is very traumatizing as a child. But I guess I always felt a little different. But I made that my plus and ran with that. 막내 어디 있어? 막내 누구야?
한국 사람들에 비해는 많이 없다 보니까 그런 커뮤니티가 있고 뭔가 그런 문화를 공유하고 뭐랄까 살면서 불편한 것들을 뭔가 개선을 하기 위한 그런 되게 좋은 취지의 커뮤니티가 있으면은 저는 정말 좋을 것 같아요. 실제로도 아마 몇 개 있는 걸로 알고 있어요.
뭘 위해서?
new community?
New community?
New adventures with our new friends. Come back!
Come back!
Come back!
Come back, girl.
At the end of the day, I'm always judged based on my color.
Like, I've been blessed with this kind of hair, like cutting
What do you
hair.
mean blessed, though? I had that in me that I'm black, I'm not beautiful, no one will date me.
Doesn't seem like I'm really desirable. It's like my white friends are more desirable.
So you find it easy to date in India?
It's easy to date.
Yeah, of course. Oh, wow. Tell me more.
You guys touch my heart.